Ah, rotate back. Ooh, no. Well, let's do it this way. We're going live this way today, you guys. I hope you all are doing well. I want to, we're doing the credit kickoff, so I'm giving you information on how to handle tonight, how to deal with charge offs. Charge offs can be very stubborn when it comes to your credit report and how to get them off. So, one thing and one way that you need to deal with your charge offs is first, get a good credit monitoring system. So, you want to make sure you have that in place. One thing with people when it comes down to their credit, they want to cut corners. But if you want good credit, you're going to have to invest one way or the other. So, one way that you need to invest is have a monitoring system going forward. One I suggest I like to use is Identity IQ because you can see all three credit reports across the board. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. If you can, hit the like button. It helps the algorithm to the information. Please subscribe to the channel. Sorry about that for the interruption. If you guys saw a little, comment came in. Sorry about that. But one thing you want to do, credit monitoring, very important. Even if you are currently working with a credit repair company, you guys, make sure you monitor your own credit. You don't know what work they're doing for you, the results that they are producing if you're not watching over to see what is being completed, what is being removed. I talk to people weekly. Weekly. Thank you so much, Miss Williams, for telling everybody thumbs up, thumbs up. Weekly, they're spending $3,000, $2,000, $1,500 going on for a year, disputing items off their credit, and they have no idea what these companies have removed. They are not watching them. Keep in mind, over time, the longer a negative item sit on your credit, the less it has impact. So if you're working with a credit repair company and you're not seeing what they're removing, as time go on, your credit score is just going to go up. Believe it or not, because the less impact that negative item is affecting your credit. So you need to see if they're removing items. Okay, so keep that in mind. So you got to have a credit monitoring system in order to have good credit or to attack credit items. Number two, I like to use affidavits when you are going through the credit bureaus. Here's the reason why. An affidavit is just a sworn statement of fact by yourself. And the reason why this is effective, a lot of your disputes from your credit repair companies are not working is because they do not have a right to dispute for you. They do not tell you that. But credit repair companies do not have a legal right to dispute for your stead. So the reason why your stuff is being rejected on a consistent basis from that company is because it's the company that's disputing for you. Now, an affidavit being a sworn statement, you're just going to a notary, your bank, where you're showing your ID and you're signing, they're putting their seal of your state that commission them to be able to be a notary. Therefore, when you send in your dispute, the bureaus cannot say it is not you. So you want to make sure you use an affidavit to initially, especially to dispute an item, and you're sending everything to the bureaus certified mail. Also, you need to send proof that it is you. current address. You want to show proof either with your social security number, whatever, your bank statements. Because the reason why you got to show it's you, because anything from a credit repair company under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, they do not even have to respond. So that is gem number 2. Make sure you want to use an affidavit. If you want, I have them at my website. You can get the dispute affidavits and the ultimate collection credit package, and I have it, dispute letters to send to the bureaus if you need to know what an affidavit is. So also, when you're looking at your collections, when you're dealing with any items, not collections, I'm sorry, charge off. When you're looking at charge offs, any items on your credit report, do not put everything in one bag and shake it up. Everybody, I want to clean up my credit. What is wrong with your credit? You have to look at every individual item. So what a charge off is the original creditor, not a collection company, the original creditor that you had a business relationship is reporting an item unpaid that they charged off the debt. They usually charge it off between 120 days or 180 days that they could not collect from you on that account. So they charge off the debt. They write it off as a bad debt, but that debt is still able to be reported by the original creditor and it's still owed by you. So what you in essence want to do is look at each account. Okay, so if you have 2 or 3, you don't handle it and look at it like it's all the same. These are different companies. You have different history with different companies, so you want to look at it from that perspective. Is it anything in particular with that account that led for you not to pay that account? That is going to be important. Details, because that may be something you need to add in. Maybe that card got stolen. Maybe you called them and let them know that that wasn't your charge. Maybe you have pertinent information to that you wrote them. That actually counts, and it should be mentioned in your dispute. So you might want to even attach that as evidence along with the dispute with that charge off accounts. So when you're looking at a charge off, it can also in the comments say write off. It's the same thing. Number 1, when you're looking at it, what you want to do is look at the comment section. And I wrote some notes. See if it says sold. If it says sold on a charge off account, if it says it's sold, it needs to report a 0 balance. Zip. Because once that account is sold, the balance should be 0. If it says it's sold and it's reporting a balance, that is a violation of the FCRA, Fair Credit Reporting Act, and you need to dispute it on that grounds that this account comments says it's sold, but it is reporting a balance owed. It should not be doing that. So if you see that with that collection account, you need to put that there, and point blank simple. Then you should tell them, stop reporting this account because it does not follow the guidelines of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Period. So those are that's one of the items that you need to look for. Another one that you need to look for is that account reporting a charge off, a monthly payment. Is it reporting a monthly payment? Especially if it's saying that it's sold, 0 balance, and still have a monthly payment, it should not be reporting that way. it can interfere with your utilization. So that is a violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So you would want to look at your charge off item and see if it is reporting a monthly payment in the monthly payment section. If so, you can dispute it because that is a violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So you can dispute that account on that fact. You want to keep it simple. Discontinue reporting this account. You can name it. Let's just throw something out of there. I'll just say, my name is Sherry. Sherry Card Company is reporting a balance of 0. This account is reporting a monthly payment of such and such. And this is a violation because this account should not be reporting a monthly payment for a charged off account. So you would want to dispute it and say this account needs to stop reporting because it is in a violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Period. Next thing that you need to look for, like I said, you have your credit monitoring system. Hopefully you have one like Identity IQ that is showing you all 3 across the board. All 3 bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. Look at that account and see if you see any inaccuracies. Remember, it's coming, the reporting, from one source. So if you see anything inaccurate, remember, if I have 3 of you guys and I'm the source of the story, and I go and tell one person one story, another person another story, and the third person another story, and it's not consistent, I'm the only source of the information. Therefore, I'm lying. Therefore, this story cannot be completely true. If I said I arrived at someone's house at 8 o'clock, then I tell somebody else it was 9, then I told someone else it's 10 o'clock, I'm not telling the truth in my story. Because I actually arrived at that person's house is true, it doesn't mean my transaction, what I am furnishing, the information that I'm giving to you guys, my information is not accurate. Even though it is true, I went to that person's house at a certain time on August 26th on that night, but my timing is off. So my story is inconsistent. Same with these charge-offs or any other account. The story has to be consistent. In order for them to report it on the Fair Credit Reporting Act standards, it has to be 100% accurate or they cannot report it. So if you clearly see inconsistencies in the reporting, open date, status date, anything that's off, balance, total balance, look at the balances. Is the balance off? Anything that is inconsistent, it means the one that's furnishing the information, giving the information, is incorrect and it needs to stop reporting because it violates the guidelines of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. That's simple. So you want to look at that when you are disputing. I'm actually at around number 5, but there should be no difference in the last payment date. This is really key because the last date of payment is when the clock starts ticking for the 7 years for this account to fall off. So companies are notorious of changing that date so they can get a longer period of time to report that negative item against you to force you to pay them. So what that is called is re-aging a debt. So if you're looking at your credit report across the board and there's inconsistencies in the last date of payment, that is what's called re-aging a debt. Clearly, they cannot re-age a debt. They have to be accurate on the last date of payment. you can see this sometimes change every month. They'll change the last date of payment. So you want to make sure you dispute that item on that terms, because what you're trying to do is build a case for a violation of the federal law. This is not, I just sent you a letter and why didn't? No, you're building a case. So if you're going through the bureaus, it may take you to send a number of letters out in order to get an item off. Remember, each bureau is its own separate company. So one company may remove it on one round and the other ones may not. You have to still continue to build the case, because ultimately, if they do not remove it, you have evidence that their reporting's been off. You have your credit monitoring system, so you can get prior months on how they were reporting this incorrectly, and you can build a case. So that's another item. Also, number 6, you want to look at to see if the original creditor is reporting and a collection agency is reporting that debt at the same time with a balance. So sometimes what you'll see, the original creditor reporting a balance on that debt. Say they saying that you owe $500 for Sherry credit card. You owe $500 with me, the original creditor. Then you see a collection company also has that debt, and both of them are reporting a balance. And if they are both reporting a balance, it should not be that way, because what that is doing is bringing down increasing your utilization, and that is a violation. That is inaccurate. It's really like a double jeopardy that they're doing, reporting 2 negative items with balances. So only one of those should be reporting a balance. Point blank. If the collection company bought the debt, that means the original creditor on that debt should be reporting that as a balance of 0. So you want to look out for that. And number 7, if there is a collection company for a charge off, it must be reported as sold. So the same thing. If you see a collection reporting for Sherry credit card that you owe, and the original creditor, Sherry credit card, is reporting this as a bad debt charge off, it should say, if there's a collection, in the notes that this was sold, this account was sold or transferred. That's why the collection company can now report it. But if it doesn't have that notation, then that's a violation, and you need to dispute that account, that's a violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So hopefully this is great information for you to start to dispute your charge-offs. Remember, look at each individual item. You don't put everything in one bag and just shake it up. You want to be as creative and find inaccuracies, violations as much as possible, so you have a better chance of removing that account. So let me see. I see it's some questions. Ronald said, "Hi, Miss Sherry. I was wondering why it seems like a lot of members in the group are not cooperating with the collection companies. They're having small claim." Well, Ronald, what I'm going to do, I answer this all the time. What you can do is go to one of my videos. Right now, I like to keep my content consistent. I have plenty of videos on collections. So if you can go right here to this channel, and I did a whole series on collections. If you missed that, you can use this opportunity to go back and watch that. So if I can answer you guys' questions strictly on charge offs, because I want to do this to keep the content congruent and not to be all over the place. So if you guys have questions about collections, that is a total different item than charge-offs. So how to handle that is totally different. If you guys have any further issues, one thing you can do, if you have collections, negative items, it does not mean you cannot increase your credit score. If you want to find out how to increase your credit score within 45 days, I have a course that you can take, and it'll show you techniques on how to increase your credit score really quickly. He just asked a question even about collections. If you want to find out, collections are very easy to deal with, how to handle collections, I have a teachable course on that also, on how to remove collections. If you want to use the information that I have, feel free to go through my YouTube channel, and I have tons of content probably that will address one of your questions on your credit issues. So I hope this was helpful. And you said, so with charge-offs, always attack the bureaus. Well, that is where I will start, because you can, and I will be discussing next week on when it's time to settle these accounts. You can settle these accounts, but I say always dispute through the credit bureaus, because why come out of pocket and pay for this account if you can get it removed? So I like for that to happen first. And if you guys can just hit the like button if you are in this live, it is very helpful. And even if you come and watch this information later on, like the information. But using the dispute method to attack charge-offs may be a way that you can save yourself some money by removing that item off of your credit reports. So hopefully this is part of my credit kickoff. A lot of people that did it last time in my group, we started in January, was able to increase their credit score. A couple people started from 650. So with his wife, he did get some of my personal services. If you want that option, you can also go to my website. But just by learning this information and applying it, you can really increase your credit score without even disputing at all. And if you have a repossession, I see that. I even have a video on that. So I'm going to try to keep the content, like I said, as direct as possible. So when I refer people back to the videos, feel free. Like I said, I had this channel since 2015. So there is tons of content about your credit issue. So hopefully this was helpful. Thank you guys for tuning in with me. I hope you have a blessed and wonderful night, and I hope you are being safe. God bless.